If I was starting a wholesaling real estate business from scratch and I had to go from $0 to $1 million in 2024, this is going to be the exact guide that I would use. As a wholesaler that consistently teaches people how to go from 0 to 100K and 100K to $1 million, and some of these people going from 0 to $1 million in a year, I can teach you how to do this. I've slowly done this process going from making no money at all to millions of dollars wholesaling houses since I was 17 for the past 7 years. If you can ask yourself certain questions and then learning how to answer those questions with these problems in wholesaling real estate, you can go out here and go from 0 to $1 million, no problem at all. You're obviously going to work a little bit harder in the beginning, but you're going to put your foot off the brake and work a little smarter in the end. And that's going to lead you to having wholesaling success. So first and foremost, starting out in wholesaling real estate, you have to ask yourself, am I in the right market? That's going to be a very important question here because most wholesalers watching this, they're in the wrong market. You could be in a bad market in Europe, Africa, outside the United States, and you get in virtual wholesaling. You could be trying to wholesale in Chicago, Miami, LA, and it's not a good market at all. You have to ask yourself, am I in the right market or not? Well, the true answer to that question is the market you're in or the market you're trying to virtually wholesale in have a population in the county over 100,000? If so, you can go to the next question here, which is the median home price for my county below or above 500,000? Now, if it is below 500,000, you're fine. How do you figure this information out? You just do a quick, simple Google search. And if you're in the wrong market, then you're just going to have to find a county that has over 100,000 population with a median home price below 500,000. There's 100 of those in the United States, so don't really worry too much about that. Next here is, how do I get my first deal? And so when it comes to getting from no money at all to $1 million plus, we got to figure out how to get that first deal, because that first deal is always going to be the hardest one to get, and it's probably going to require the most amount of work, because once you start getting deals, it actually gets easier and easier and easier in this process. So first and foremost, how do I get my first deal? Well, it depends on your budget, not just your money budget, but your time budget. How much time can I put into wholesaling and how much money can I put in? And why do I have to focus so hard on making my first 100K or my first deal in wholesaling real estate? Why can't I just go instantly make 100K my first month? Well, the honest truth is, to make 100K a month in wholesaling real estate, it's all about leverage. It's all about scalability. It's all about not just making 100 calls a day, but making 2, 3, 4,000 calls a day, which is physically impossible for a human being, one person, to do. You need multiple employees and systems and things like that. That's why if you want to make a ton of money operating a pizza shop, you just can't do one pizza store. You have to do 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 franchises. So the first thing you should do is get a good pizza franchise, make that really good, and then use that money to get other good pizza shops. Same thing in wholesaling real estate. We're going to make our first 100 grand. And to do this, we got to figure out our budgets. Now, if we don't have much money starting out in wholesaling real estate, we're going to have to focus on our free options. And our top free options right now is going to be government lists, which are basically free lists, digital bandit signs, basically posting on Craigslist ads and Facebook groups, and hopefully, if you have a little money in the gas tank, some drying for dollars and reverse drying for dollars. Those are very cheap, economical ways to find deals. So these government lists can be any type of list that you get from the government that absolutely costs no money at all. This can be liens, tax delinquencies, probates, water shutoffs, fire damage properties, the evictions list. This list can go on and on forever. Make sure you go to my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, to learn exactly how to do this step by step. Now, once we pull this list, we have to actually go reach out to these sellers. The best way to reach out to these sellers is by either calling or texting them, especially as a beginner. Reverse drawing for dollars sticky notes works, which is basically putting a sticky notes on houses saying something like, hey, this is Zach. I had a quick question about your property. Please give me a call back. But if you're doing virtual wholesaling, it's going to be a very tall task for you to do because you physically can't go there. Now, if you do SMS text blasting or cold calling, you're going to need to get their phone number. And the best way to get their phone numbers right now is by going to a website like cyberbackgroundchecks.com or truepeoplesearch.com. And then from there, you're going to call and text these people. Remember, my scripts are my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com. And really, you're going to be doing the boring work to make your first 100,000. It's not crazy. It's not fancy. It's not super sexy, but you're just going to do the boring, monotonous work. Wake up every single day, pull your lists, cold call them, try for dollars, SMS text blast, and just do that. The problem is when you don't have much money, every single wholesaling real estate guru is not going to tell you this, but you're just going to have to grind it out. The problem is every single YouTuber you watch on wholesaling real estate is going to tell you to drop 6, 7, 8 grand on PPC and direct mail, and that's just how you get into wholesaling. That's not really realistic for most people, especially you watching this video, right? Especially me starting out in wholesaling real estate, that was an impossibility for me to do. So these are the best strategies, and this gives you the best chance to actually have success to make $1 million. Now from there, you push the marketing and you get your butt to work. You got to remember, the more I market will always have an upward spiral for my success. Everyone's heard of a downward spiral, but the upward spiral, which is basically showing positive momentum here. The more I market, will lead to more motivated sellers actually wanting to sell their properties, which is more leads. The more leads I get lead to more appointments, and the more appointments I make give me more offers. And obviously the more offers I make is more money I can get in wholesaling real estate. And so if you want to know how to make more money in wholesaling, it's always going to come down to producing more leads. And to make your first $100,000 in wholesaling real estate, it's simple. You're going to do the hard, simple work, the texting, the calling of those lists, and get to work. That should lead you to making about $100,000 if you put 15, 20 hours a week into this business. Now, once you do that, you're probably going to be at a problem. You're going to be stuck at maybe doing $10,000, $15,000 a month. And you're going to ask me, Zach, I'm stuck. I can't get anything more. What do? I'm always on to the next deal. Well, you're going to have to do more leads. And you're going to say, well, Zach, I don't physically have enough more time to call, but I'm making money. This is when we use leverage, right? Why can I use a lever to pick up a 4,000-pound car, but I physically can't carry it myself? Because a lever was able for me, who's not that strong to pick up 4,000 pounds, I can use something to actually help me lift that up without me using all my strength. Same thing in wholesaling. It's the same thing as a lever. It's called leverage, where yes, I can do 4,000 pounds of force with me only putting, let's say, 100 pounds of effort in. Same thing in cold calling. I'm going to be able to do 4,000 cold calls with only the effort of 1 to 200 by hiring VAs, training them, and actually having them do the work. Now, it's going to cost some money. You're going to have to pay these VAs and pay employees to start calling and texting for you and following up, but you're probably going to be able to 10x the amount of money you're making. And that's really how you scale from $100K to $1 million. You really don't do anything more crazy. You just do more volume. And really the best case scenario and the best formula for scaling a wholesaling operation is to go from making 100 grand, seeing what's working, and then just doing more of the stuff that is working. So if you have done 10 deals in a year and you found that 7 of your deals have come from pre-foreclosures and 3 of them come from tax delinquencies, what we're going to do is pour a ton of money into just going all in on the pre-foreclosures and pushing that like crazy, and hopefully going from 10 deals to 100 deals, which is going to help us make $1 million a year in wholesaling. It's not a crazy complicated formula. Remember, it's as simple as you want to make more money with your pizza shop, just open another pizza shop that makes the same amount of money, and you do 15, 20 of those, you'll be making 20x more money. Again, if the pizza shop is theoretically profitable. But honestly, wholesaling real estate is just like a rocket ship. When it's going up in the atmosphere, the most fuel is not used going 1,500 miles in the sky. It's the first 2 or 3 miles, which is the most fuel consumed, because that is where gravity is the strongest. But the higher and higher you get, especially in wholesaling and especially in a rocket ship, the atmosphere gets thinner and it's easier to move. It takes less fuel to travel a mile when you're 1,000 feet in the air than it is when you're straight on the ground. Same thing with 100 miles in the sky. Atmosphere is thinner, there's less pressure forcing you down, which means it's easier to go up. And so you want to know how to get started in wholesaling? Stop trying to focus so hard on going from 100K to $1 million when you made no money at all. We got to get liftoff in this business. And that's when it comes to making your first $100,000 in wholesaling real estate. This business is all about volume. If you can put enough volume in, you're going to be able to make enough offers and you're going to be able to do enough deals. When I talk to wholesalers getting started in this business, they always want to know the magic secret formula to becoming successful. And I always have to go out here and burst their bubble. There's no super crazy secret about this. The crazy secret is doing the work that other people aren't willing to do. And the fun, interesting truth here is most people aren't willing to go in and day out and do an hour or 2 hours a day of cold calling. They're just not. These kids out here are addicted to TikTok. They got their TV shows. They're not willing to do the crazy important work. They'd rather go do the fun, interesting thing that's fast and easy. This is exactly what you need to do in wholesaling real estate. Do the work that most people aren't willing to do. And the cool part about that is that bar is actually really low. So if you're ready to do it, make sure you put in the work, hold the lists, and consistently show up every single day. You start doing that and then doing more volume with leverage, you'll go from $0 to $1 million, no problem at all. Guys, I'm just giving you right now a $10,000 coaching program on scaling that nobody ever talks about for free, because I have scaled. Yes, I do a lot with SMS and cold calling, but I can use other strategies once I make more money, like direct mail, to start pushing the volume even further. Guys, if you want to start learning how to scale, I do have a scaling course that's absolutely for free inside of freewholesaling.com. But heck, if you're trying to make your first 100 grand, freewholesaling.com's got you there too. So guys, if you got any value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you're doing to scale up your wholesaling operations to go from $0 to $1 million. And I'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.